Vic Mornington, how's everybody doing? So we're not actually having a look around a place. This is more of a look at an update to one of the cars that I own. You know, everyone owns a car in Second Life, but more especially what PBR does to the overall looks of any type of vehicle, especially if that vehicle's been overhauled texture-wise to render in PBR. Now, I'm currently using Firestorm right now, the latest version of Firestorm, and if we have a look at the graphics options here, avatar preferences, I have got sun, moon and projector switched on, reflections on static, that should be in real time. Reflection coverage is full scene, point lighting is full default, and I've got the quality slider practically almost all the way to the top. It's not quite all the way because I've got objects and sculpts LOD only at 3. So it's almost ultra graphics, but not quite ultra graphics. We're looking at the Benedict car from Surplus Motors, and I own quite a number of Surplus Motors. This is the original one right here, and as you can see, it does have a little bit of a shine going on. If we have a look at the wheels here, the wheels are looking good, and all in all, I mean, this is version 7.2 of the car, so it's not all that old. The good thing about Surplus Motors is they do have a tendency to do rolling updates for their cars, but if we just pull this camera out and then have a little look at what's on the right hand side, you're looking at version 7.3 of the same Benedict motor vehicle, and as you can tell almost immediately, the shine and the reflection coming off of that shine is a lot more deeper and it's a lot more richer. Just having a look at the way this thing looks, you can see that reflection detail from the PBR materials is making the colours pop just that little bit more compared to the old 7.2 version directly behind it. The 7.2, which is this one here, the non-PBR version, which is basically using the older Shine model of the Blin Fong, I think they're calling it now, the Blin Fong texture system, the original texture system in other words, does look a little bit on the matte side. It's not full shine, and you didn't really notice it until PBR actually hit the grid, how dull a lot of the shine in Second Life actually was. Well, PBR's basically fixed that, because what we are now looking at here is a full wax and polish. That's basically what you're looking at with the Benedict 7.3. It's a full wax and polish. The red is a lot deeper. The reflection details, or the shine details, coming off of the PBR materials is also a lot more deeper and a lot more richer. And it just overall looks that little bit better. That little bit better. Now, I don't quite know how Surplus Motors is going to be handling the PBR updates, if they're going to be updating their entire range of cars and vehicles, because Surplus Motors has a lot of cars in their catalogue. You'll probably need to check in the Surplus Motors update group to see how the updates are actually running. But yeah, here's the new Benedict 7.3. I'm more of a fan of the classic style of cars. That's why I've got this one out. And what we're going to do now, we're going to head into here, switch that off, and you're about to see my terrible driving in Second Life. What I'm going to do first of all is get rid of the old version. We're in Magnolia City, by the way, in case you haven't guessed that already, because there's palm trees everywhere. Right. Okay, let's go for a quick spin. Head up to second gear. Ignoring the stop sign because there's no coppers around. Now again, I don't generally tend to drive with graphics on basically ultra, because as you can see, the frame rate is struggling a little bit. I'm using a GeForce RTX 2070 Super, and even this card's struggling a little bit with the graphics cranked all the way up. I do have the draw distance only at 200 though, which is helping a little bit. But I mean, as you can see, even with my completely horrible driving, the Surplus Motors vehicles generally tend to do handle a little bit better than other cars of this class that's using the same driving system. And a lot of it is to do with the way that the physics has been done on the physics bed of the actual car. For the people that don't know this, for the folks that are relatively new to Second Life, these cars and all types of vehicles, if I right click and edit, what you're seeing here is the actual mesh layout, and the way that this thing is working, you're seeing down here that block, that's the shadow block, but I think I'm right in saying that that shadow block is also working as the physics bed of the car. And because the physics bed in the Surplus Motors is that little bit bigger than the physics bed of other cars of this type, they handle a little bit better. The steering's a little bit more smoother. It's a little bit more smoother going round corners. I'm just a big fan of Surplus Motors, always have been. I've got... Oh, dodgy sim crossing. That is not Surplus Motors' fault, by the way, the camera problem. That's Linden Lab refusing to fix bugs. Yeah, right. That camera bug's been on the go for a while now. But yeah, I mean, you can see it here. Very, very smooth at turning. Very, very smooth at cornering. The jitteriness is basically down to the viewer struggling to keep up with the frames. Whoops! Yeah, my driving's just not all that good. But yeah, I mean, you can see it as well as you're driving around. The reflection coming off the boot of the car is a lot deeper and a lot richer, along with the shadows being casted on and off, a lot deeper and a lot richer than the original 7.2 version of the Benedict that I had before. And it's these kinds of incremental updates that Surplus Motors generally tend to do that keeps people going back. But I just thought I'd make this very quick video to let people see the texture differences that's going on with the updates that's been happening, not just to the Benedict that you're seeing here, but to a lot of the other Surplus Motors cars that are currently being updated by Surplus Motors. That's it from me, folks. Have a good one.